Okay, I'm here with Greg Raymond, co-author of Kinetic the First Alliance and creator of the board game, creator of the book that the board game was based off of. We just went our first playthrough the game, and there's a couple flaws. I wrote down a couple flaws here, so we have some bugs to work out. Now, Greg, what did you think of the game overall?
I had a good time. And I'm not just saying that because, we came up with it and I want Laz to succeed. There's a lot more strategy in the game than I thought there would be. I thought it was really just going to be like some Rock'em Sock'em Robot game where you just keep bashing into each other until everyone falls down. But for me personally, rather than taking out all of his players, it became far easier just to get into his base. So once we work out those flaws, it has tremendous potential. And also, if we were able to come up with more characters, if we could fill the board a little more, I think it would also add another level of complexity to the game that would be enjoyable. Who knows? I mean, if we really want to get crazy, if we ever decided to make this, or if Laz decided to make this like hexagonal.
Octagonal.
Octagonal, because it's already hexagonal.
You can incorporate 2 more players.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And it could be like a real battle royale. I thought that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, how about we take this 2 players and make it into a 4-player game and just have this big old board that covers your whole kitchen table, and you're just sitting there, everyone's battling each other, ganging up on people. I thought about it, but like I said, I wanted to keep this as simple as possible.
Yeah, for the trial game, this is more than sufficient. But if we ever made this game, to scale, then we would come up with more characters. Because we have lots of more characters. We have other alien races that have other abilities, characters that were introduced later on in the series. So, I mean, it's a good game. It has the potential to become pretty awesome. And all this time spent on power grids and players and stats and all this other animations and visuals, I enjoyed it. If it wasn't for these power grids, I probably wouldn't like it as much. But it's reminiscent of, our childhoods where you would see like X-Men cars and you'd see their stats. So I thought it was good.
Obviously, as you can see from the game, Greg got into my base. So Greg actually won this game. Even though the game obviously had some flaws and some bugs to work out because you won and I should have won because I designed it. How did you think of breaking the battle and scoring? Like, how did that cross through your mind?
It was very easy for me because I was able to pick first. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that might need to be worked out is the fact that if you get to pick first, you get to go back and forth. Because I was able to pick an all-star team. My players are, let's call it what it is. My players are stronger than Laz's in almost all categories. So I was able to overpower him. If there was a way to make it more random so you couldn't pick, then I think it would have been fairer and Laz would have had a better chance of beating me. Because with my team, he was not going to defeat me. I already knew off the bat that I was going to win this game. So it pretty much came down to who got to pick first.
Now, there is an old proverb that speed determines the victor of a fight. And I think we've obviously saw that. Greg had the faster characters when he had Wind, Alex, or Cloud, and Shira. He had the overall. I was looking at your leg. Sorry. He had the overall. Faster characters in which he was able to run around and really like get around me. And that's what he did with Shira. I was in the middle of a battle here with him, and he kind of just like cut loose. And he was all like whoop, and he got right in. So
I also had my defense, which didn't even come to play. All your characters saw some action, more or less, in this game. I had 2 characters that I didn't even need. I could have won this game with 2 less characters than you. But my defense was incredibly strong too, which also comes down to the whole who gets to pick first. If you would have came at me, I have 2 characters that are ridiculously strong. Someone who can control one of the 4 fundamental powers on Earth is magnetism and gravity. So if you would have came at my base, it would have been a problem for you.
But at the same time, though, right at your tip of your base there, you have three spaces that I can squeeze on by. So that's a disadvantage there. So if you could have two people covering, but if I could sneak by if I really wanted to.
Yeah. So I would just do something about the life points, either decrease them or add combinations that give you more hit points, because I was not worried about the damage you were able to deal, because I knew I had so many defense points. I was not concerned with it at all, and I knew I could just bulldoze through your defenses.
Now at the same time though, the first character that Greg picked was Shira, right? The alien guide. Now, I had the next pick. I could have picked anybody. I decided to pick the opposite of Shira, which is Emperor Zelix. He's just as powerful, maybe not just as fast, but he has a better defense. He has slightly less intelligence. But I could have picked Zelix. Greg would have picked Voltae Cloud was his next pick, and then instead of picking Seismic Earth, I could have picked Wind, or I could have picked Polarity. Mm-hmm. You know, I picked who I picked. You know, we go back and forth. So even though you got first pick, you get first pick of Shira. I could pick anybody else.
You could have.
You know, I just picked a losing team.
Okay.
But at the same time, though, if you look at the advantages, Greg kind of kicked himself in the ass by
language.
I could say ass. You could say ass in Channel 2. You could say ass in school. He kind of hurt himself by picking players that he had an advantage to himself. Like for instance, Voltae Cloud does more damage to Polarity, a character that he picked, and Gravity does more damage to Wind, a character that he picked. So it kind of hurt him there. I had a little bit more advantages that he did. It's just that he had so much speed that he just ran around the whole board, and I was just all like, it was like the tortoise and the hare, only not the Bugs Bunny one, because the tortoise won because he cheated. But there's no cheating in Kinetic, so he kind of ran around me, and he was able to attack and then come back and attack, and you know, it hurt, but you know, there's like I said, there's some flaws. What did you think of the design of the board?
I think it's a very good prototype for what it is. Like we already discussed, if we were able to make it into an octagon, that would just be a battle royale, which I think would be a lot of fun. I'd play that on the regular. But the board is good. I like the design of it. The whole home base thing, I think more people are going to try to do that than take out each other's players, because it's just so much easier. So
maybe the addition of characters will like say instead of 5 we had 10 characters each. You know, obviously you would want to keep like 5 people back to defend your base, so sneaking into the base would be, you know, ill-advised to say the least. But unfortunately with this prototype we're sticking with 10, because it's all the characters we got. As also, did you ever think that of like maybe just how about we try to play the game once more, and instead of just trying to sneak into the base, how about we go with the battle, we go with the aggressiveness, and see how that turns out, see how much fun that is.
I'll probably win again.
Well, we're gonna repick characters and everything like that, so. Alright, so thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll have more videos and stuff like that, and I'll have everything done by the end of the week. Alright, thank you.